What's the point of all of this? Are we trying to engage with people, or are we trying to produce sales? If you're trying to produce sales through a social media post, you're likely going to be better off spending money on advertising or business development, face-to-face interactions. Social media is a really good tool for engagement. It's a good tool for selling for sure. Social selling is definitely important. But when you're just getting off your feet and you're building that social presence, you're building those followers, you're building that trust, engagement is really important. It's so easy to hop on the bandwagon of, we have 50,000 views, we have 11,000 views, this got 1,400 likes. The likes are some form of engagement, but when you actually get into a conversation with somebody on social media, when you're talking about HR, when you're talking about a new product, when you're engaging in that conversation that others can see, it's a really, really awesome way to show that you're a human company as well, and that we're not all just robots. So questions your team should be asking to complete an initial self-analysis, and these are just some, but do we exist? What platforms are we on in the digital sphere? Are we consistent in our messaging? And what's missing? So, for example, do you have a website? Is it optimized? Are you on social media channels? I've chatted with a number of clients over the years and worked with different people who say, I don't need to be on Facebook. I don't need to be on Instagram. Well, in this day and age, if you're not on these platforms, especially to that millennial generation, you don't exist. People are looking for raw information, real data, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. How many stars are you getting? Where is that real information? That can kind of translate an analogy into photoshopping. So many people are calling out things that are fake these days. Are you putting material out there that's real, that's honest, and that is digestible to the community and your target audience? And then another thing, we talk about brand complexes a lot. So a really important thing to think about is, are you clearly defining your industry and the services that you offer? Because if there's ever any gray area that you're not sure of with regards to the services you offer, it's going to be a lot more confusing for your customers. So some more questions for this self-analysis include, how do we speak to our target audience, and how do others perceive us? So when we think about, we're going to focus on that second area there, how others perceive us. Just because we know what we do, that doesn't mean that others do. So having a third party conduct an analysis or utilizing your sales contacts is really critical for all aspects of your business. Building social growth targets. So this is a small company that I just used an example of, but your social growth targets, and again, this is part of that strategic planning process, is, how many followers do you have and how many do you want? What does your organic growth strategy look like? Views versus time watched. That's a huge thing. Again, we have so many people getting excited about, we've got 12,000 views on this video, but how long did they watch the video for? How much time did they spend on that video? How much of that information did they retain? And what does their behavior look like after that? And again, back to that engagement. So again, when you're spending all of this time and effort in creating these plans and strategies, you need to know who you're speaking to, and you better be aiming to engage, in having people engage, whether it's with your content, whether it's a blog article, a video, if they're downloading a resource, if they're asking a question. Those are the types of things to think about when you are building those social growth targets.